Welcome back to The Real Story. Newly declared GOP presidential candidate Carly Fiorina making her late-night TV debut on the Seth Meyers show. Well, she traded a few jokes, and she explained why her business background separates her from the GOP pack and Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. But is America ready for someone outside the Beltway?
I think, honestly, there is a professional political class in this party. There are Republicans who are in it, and there are Democrats who are in it. But Hillary Clinton is kind of the personification of a professional political class. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. It's just she's been in politics all her life, and a lot of people are tired of that. It's not the way our country was founded. So, yes, for the last 60 years or so, we've only had professional politicians. But why is that a good idea?
Time to bring in our power panel. Jillian Melchar, National Review and Fellow at the Franklin Center and Independent Women's Forum. Nasakle Aqueta, I hope I said it right, co-founder of Eugenia Shea and a small business expert. And TV personality Jill Zarin is back on the panel. Great to have all three of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jill, let me start with you. Inside or outside the Beltway?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see a woman running. I think she's got an incredible amount of experience. In fact, I venture to say that she's got more experience than many people in Congress today who are sitting, and quite a few of the Republican candidates that are running. And if her name was Carl, would we be having this discussion?
Well, I don't know. It's interesting because Dr. Ben Carson also got into the race on the GOP side, and he's a former neurosurgeon, Nasakle, so he doesn't have any political experience. Do you think it's a good or a bad idea?
I think that as a small business owner, I completely understand the merits of being able to run a small business and how that overlaps with being a good politician, potentially. But I think that a lot of the things that Mitt Romney faced in his campaign, I think, might come up against Miss Fiorina, in terms of her tenure at HP, in terms of the downsizing and outsourcing that occurred there.
You mean because they're going to go really into depth, meaning us, the media,
yeah, exactly.
To look at what she accomplished there and what the stock did and all that.
I want to know why that's such an issue. I mean, as a businesswoman myself, you know, in order to be responsible to my employees, my stockholders, if it was a public company, if she had to lay off people to save the company, she saved many other jobs. And I don't know why she's getting so beat up, or people get so beat up for doing things that they have to do to survive.
Well, because it's called politics. Go ahead,
Julie. The point is that she has a record. You know, it's not a political record, but she has a record. She has a past that can be dug into. And that's going to be interesting from a reportorial point of view. What I think is so interesting within the Republican side of this race, though, right now, is that, you know, they're looking at the statistics. 75% of America does not like what Congress is doing right now. So you're seeing this very strong anti-establishment message come out. It's not just Carly Fiorina. Ben Carson said almost the exact same thing about our founding fathers not wanting a political class. You've even got Rand Paul running an anti-establishment campaign. So I think, man, that's the theme this season.
Well, you know, let's go back to the whole point, though, that you dig into what people have done in the past. I think that's one of the frustrating things about why people don't get into politics, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I would be afraid to run in politics because of all this, you know, criticism that you get. It's such an unglorified job. I mean, here you are giving your life to public service and making very little money relative to what you could do privately, and just they consistently beat you up. And I think it's a very, you know, good for her. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to see women running. Will I vote for her? I don't know. I don't know enough about her, but do I want to hear more? Absolutely want to hear more.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that in terms of digging into people's backgrounds, that's one of the things that kind of worries me about her, because all that we really know right now is that she's not Hillary Clinton. And I think that the American people need to know a little bit more about their candidate before they can make a decision.
It's only for 12 hours,
I'm taking people's backgrounds, though. I think it's great that we are, in fact, because this is going to make the Republican field really vibrant and rich. I think the person who emerges is going to be a strong candidate.
They'll have to be, because there could be as many as 20 candidates up there on the debate.
Women?
Well, just one so far.
And that says it all.
Panel, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you.
Time for my take now. So, who do Americans want for president this time around? Career politician or a fresh face? Either I'm really getting old, or I feel like we were just having this discussion 8 years ago when Barack Obama burst onto the national scene. Back then, people chose the newcomer in Obama over Hillary Clinton. Obama was African American, which would be a first, young, and made lofty promises that sounded like he really might change old school Washington. You remember, more transparency and a new way to run government. Many people argue those promises never came to fruition, and that the biggest problem with the Obama administration has been lack of experience in knowing how to actually be president, in knowing how to run something. So that brings us full circle, right? Will Americans care if a presidential candidate doesn't have political experience, or will they actually be looking at a candidate's experience at running something? You can always get my takes on this topic and much more on my Facebook page at foxnews.com, and now you can sign up. You can get it delivered via email every day. Just go to foxnews.com/therealstory. It's easy. So was it a fib or simply misleading? What Bill Clinton said about some taxes that he did or didn't pay, and also the flip answer he gave to a billionaire when asked, just what is the foundation money really for? And new suggestions that some Gitmo detainees are getting paid. Josh Earnest was just pressed on that in the briefing. So what was his answer to that?